Hi, I'm Shadrach from Zentech Academy. Now, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to install Jupyter Notebook. And we're going to do so via Anaconda distributor. Now, if you look, you can see I'm on Anaconda website, and the URL is anaconda.com/download. So we're going to download Anaconda distributor. And this comes with other packages as well. So from the website, you could see it's a free download, so you don't have to pay a subscription fee or a license fee. Now you're going to get everything you need to get started in data science on your workstation. So it is free, and thousands of the most fundamental data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning packages. So this is what you get. So you can also manage packages and environments from your desktop application, and you can also deploy across hardware and software platforms. Now, Anaconda is supported on Windows, on Mac OS, and on Linux. So you can see that it is open source, meaning it is free. So it is also user friendly and it is trusted. Now, if you go down, you can see the Anaconda repository. You can get over 8,000 open source data science and machine learning packages. So they are kind of inbuilt. They come inbuilt with Anaconda. So we also have, you also get Conda. So Conda is like pip for a Python installer. So you also get Conda that you can use to install, update, and run packages. Now, where I want you to go is scroll all the way down. All right, before we do that, you can see powered by most recommended and trusted open source packages. So you can use it for data exploration and transformation. That is data processing. I use Jupyter Notebook for my data processing. So there are other IDE for data science. So, but Jupyter Notebook is a very popular one. So for the data exploration and transformation, so you need packages like Pandas, Intake, NumPy, DAX, and Apache Airflow. So for visualization, so these are some of the libraries you're going to need. Then for AI and machine learning, you need scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, and XGBoost. So we also have the natural language processing. So these are things that come pre-installed with Anaconda, so which makes it really powerful. So, but let's scroll down until we get to this Anaconda installers. So as you can see, we have the installer for Windows. I'm currently on Windows 11. So you can also install if you're on Mac. You can install on Mac, and you can also install for Linux. All right, so one good thing about Anaconda is that it installs Python for you. So even if you don't have Python running in on your machine, so when you install Anaconda, so it's also going to install Python as well. So now the version of Python is going to install is Python 3.10. So, but this is not the latest version of Python. So let me go to the Python website. So if you go over download, you can see the latest version for Python is Python 3.11.3. So you can Python 3.11.3. So this is the latest version. So, but with Anaconda, you're going to get Python 3.10 or Python 3.10, if you would like to call it that way. So you can install the 64-bit graphical installer. So this is the size, 786 MB if you're on a Windows. Now you can also install for Mac. So you can see the 64-bit graphical installer. So this is the size. And if I want to run from the command line, so this is the size as well as these other ones. So for Linux, you can see the size for the 64 bits installer. So it's about 860 MB. So whatever operating system you use, so you can go to the corresponding one. So I am on a Windows operating system, so I'm going to go with the Windows installer. So I'm going to click on this to get started. So let's click this. If you're on Windows, click this. If you're using Mac, you can click any of these. And if you're on Linux, you can click any one of your choice. So I'm going to click on the 64-bit graphical installer for Windows. Or so you can see it is downloading. So it's going to take a while. Also, I'm going to pause this recording at this point and go grab a cup of coffee. I will see you in a bit. All right, so the download is completed. So it's time for us to run the installation. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on open. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this window, close this as well, so that we can run the installation. So I'm going to click on next. So when you get this little window here, so you can click on next. Now this is the agreement, license agreement. So you can go through the agreement, and if you're okay with it, so go down and click I agree. All right, so this is where we select installation type. So do you want to install for just me or all users? So the recommended one is just me. All right, so I'm going to stick to the just me, the recommended one. So you can choose all users. So this kind of requires admin privileges. So, but would go with the recommended selection type. So just me, then click next. Now the destination folder, it's going to create a folder called Anaconda 3 in your C drive. So you can change this location. You can change this location, but you need to first go to where you want it to be and create a folder. So you can name the folder or whatever you want to name it, Anaconda 3, Anaconda 4, whatever it is you want to name it. So but you have to create it first before going to browse to click on the folder. All right, so now the space required is 4.7 gig. Then the space available is, so this is my space available, 671.6. So please ensure that you have enough space for the application. So I'm going to stick to the default location or destination and click next. Advanced installation options. So create start menu. So this is a shortcut. If you want a shortcut, then we have this, add Anaconda tree to my path environment variable. So this one is kind of not recommended. While we'll have the register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.10. So I'm going to leave this as it is. So if you don't want to create a shortcut, you can remove this. You can uncheck this if you don't want shortcuts. But I'm just going to leave all this. And I'm going to click on next. Now, there's another option here. So this is kind of a new addition here. Clear the package cache upon completion. Now, I recommend you recover some disk space without harming functionality. So I think this is a good one. So I'm going to check this as well. Then we can click install. So you can see it is installing. So if you want to see the details, you can click on show details to see the exact what is going on. So this is just about it. So it's going to take a little while. So as you can see, installation complete. Setup was completed successfully. So just click next. Also, you can see something about Anaconda in the cloud. So I'm just going to click next and completing Anaconda 3 setup. So you can say thank you for installing Anaconda distribution. So here there are two things checked. You can see welcome to Anaconda is checked. And you can see getting started with Anaconda distribution. So it's also checked, but I don't think I want any of these two. So I'm going to uncheck them. You can leave them checked if you wish. So but I'm going to uncheck them and I'm going to click finish. Okay, so now to see what we've installed, now I'm going to go over to this window icon and I'm going to go over to all apps. Then I'm going to scroll down. All right, so as you can see, we have Anaconda 3 64-bit, so which is new. So I'm going to click the drop down here. And here you can see we have our Anaconda navigator. We also have Anaconda PowerShell prompts. We have our Anaconda prompts, and then this is what we are looking for, Jupyter Notebook. We have Jupyter Notebook as well as Spider. So Spider and Jupyter Notebook are both IDE for Python, are both IDEs for Python. Now to open up Jupyter Notebook, there are quite a number of ways to go about it. So I'm going to show you the three methods that you can use. Now with time, you're going to pick the one that you like the most. So let's start with the Anaconda Navigator. So I'm going to click on Anaconda Navigator. So this is the Anaconda Navigator. So on the Navigator, you can see some apps that are already installed and the ones that you can install if you have need for them. So the ones you see installed are the ones you can install, and the ones with launch are the ones that are already pre-installed. So to open any of it, you just click on launch. For example, now we're going to launch the Jupyter notebook. But before we do that, you can see we're on the home tab. So you can go to environment, and under environment, you can see the root, which is the base root. So you can see some of the packages that are already installed. And you can go to learning, and under learning, so there are a couple of things you can learn. Python tutorials, reference, pandas documentation, and other things. So there are also communities. So we have Stack Overflow and some forums. So I'm going to go back to the home, and we're going to launch or open Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to click on launch. So as you can see, this is going to open Jupyter on your default browser. So my default browser is Microsoft Edge. So this is one way to open Jupyter Notebook. Like I said, there are other ways. So we're going to also explore other ways. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to also close this. Then I'm going to click quit. Then yes. Also, another way to open Jupyter Notebook, I'm still going to go back to this window icon. So I'm going to go to all apps. So I'm under the Anaconda 3, I'll click on this drop down. So we have seen how to open Jupyter Notebook from the Anaconda navigator. So we can also open it from the command prompt or the PowerShell prompt. So I'm going to click on this. All right, so this is going to open the prompt. All right, so now to open Jupyter Notebook from the Anaconda prompt, you simply type in Jupyter Notebook and hit enter. So as you can see, this has brought us to the same place, the Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to exit this as well. I'm also going to close this. All right, so now let's look at the third method. So we're still going to go, or so we're still going to click the start icon here. So all apps here on Windows 11. Then I'm going to scroll down and click on this. So now the last method I'm going to show you is to click on Jupyter Notebook. And I think this is the easiest method and the one I use more frequently. So you can click on Jupyter Notebook. All right, so and this will open up Jupyter Notebook, just like we saw with the other methods. Now, you can select items to perform actions on them. So this is kind of going to bring in the folders in your computer, the folders in your local machine. So you can see. Now you can go into any one of these. For example, let me click on the desktop. So I can go into the desktop. So these are the folders or file under the desktop. So I can create a new folder by going to new. Then you can click on this drop down. Then you can click on folder or a text file. So whichever you want to create, you can create a text file or a folder. So let's create a folder, and you can see untitled folder. The folder is untitled. So to rename this folder, you can simply we can click on this. Then you can see rename or move or delete. So let's rename. Now let's call this folder. I can just call it Python. I'm going to call this Python tutorial. So if you type in the name you want, so you can go and click on rename. Now you can see it is renamed. So to go into this folder, just simply click on it. All right, so now we're inside the folder. Now all of your works are going to be stored inside this new folder you created. Now to start working with the Python kernel, you go back to new. So you can click on the drop down. Now we can go into, you can click on Python 3. Now this is going to create a new notebook so that you can start typing in code. So let's click on this. And here we are. We are in the Jupyter Notebook. So this is a cell. So you can start typing in code. For example, I could say something like, let's say 7 plus 6. So, and I can click on run, or I can just do a sheet. Enter. You can see the output. So you can see this is the input, what I typed in, and this is the output. So the result of this calculation. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the Jupyter Notebook in this particular lesson. So, but in another video, I'm going to cover the interface, the Jupyter Notebook interface. So please do ensure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any other tutorial I'm going to upload progressively, because this is a series. So I'm going to take you through Python for data analysis, and this is at the beginner's level. So do ensure to stick to the series. So you're going to really learn, and I'm going to share some of my experience working as a data analyst with a number of organizations. All right, so that will be all for this video. I will see you in the next one.